News 5 has been reporting in Northeast Ohio communities for the last 75 years. Reporters work to get information out to you, the viewer, every day.
And in our quest for answers, we often come up against barriers to information from unhelpful sources. So we want to show you, the viewers, we want you to know what we've been working with, and we want to be as transparent as possible, especially when it comes to officer-involved shootings.
News 5's Caroline Sweeney has the first in our National News Literacy Week stories that take a behind-the-scenes look at journalism right here at News 5.
We're going to take a look at two incidents where men were shot by police. The first, the death of Vincent Belmonte earlier this month in East Cleveland. The other, the April 2020 death of Desmond Franklin in Cleveland.
Off duty. I got shot fired right now.
22-year-old Desmond Franklin was shot around 1:50 p.m. on April 9th.
Okay, what's your badge number?
2168.
By off-duty Cleveland police officer Jose Garcia,
who was not wearing a badge or driving a police cruiser, was investigating criminal activity in the area.
CPD released this statement 2 hours after the shooting. Straightforward information, giving facts but little details. Frank Wiley, News 5 anchor, worked on the early reporting.
Many of those details they couldn't really relinquish at the time as it's a pending case.
An off-duty cop saw two men possibly involved in criminal activity. Officer Garcia was in his personal car when he chased Franklin's car. Police said here that one of the suspects had a gun. That's when Garcia fired his gun.
He tried to shoot me, and I shot back.
Franklin's car crashed into a cemetery fence. Police also released the 911 calls 2 days later.
Yes, I'm okay. I'm not shot, but I know right now.
I mean, we want to make sure that viewers know this is all we have, but this is what we were told. That way, no one can say anything was misconstrued.
Our key questions: why an off-duty officer not wearing a uniform or driving a marked police car decided to pursue Franklin and shoot at a moving car in the middle of the day? Police never answered our questions on or off camera about the details of that day. News 5 requested more information. More than a month later, police gave us this 2-line report saying Franklin was, quote, engaged in aggravated robbery and felonious assault on an off-duty police officer. Scott Knoll is an investigative reporter with News 5.
I think anytime you're talking about police using force against a civilian, there are always a whole lot of questions.
The father of a man shot and killed by police wants answers tonight. He says Cleveland police are not providing them.
It just rips me apart.
Franklin's family started their own investigation, combing through surveillance video from the neighborhood and protesting.
Fire him! Arrest him! Convict him!
Over the summer,
We need to fight just as hard for all of the cases that don't have explicit video showing what happened.
8 months later, Officer Garcia is still on restrictive duty. The Ohio Attorney General's office took over the case in June, and it is currently in the hands of a special prosecutor.
And it's not necessarily that we've dropped the story or we've forgotten about it. A lot of times we're waiting on records, video, audio recordings, things that really go and fill in a lot of the blanks.
8 months later and 12 miles away,
you can see BCI agents investigating this deadly police shooting. Officers say it all started when the driver of this stolen, now burned out car fled from police.
19-year-old Vincent Belmonte was shot by Sergeant Larry McDonald in East Cleveland.
They say he had a gun, ran, first between houses on Allendale, then toward a nearby school.
Unlike in Cleveland, East Cleveland Police Chief Scott Gardner met media on scene.
Some departments, some municipalities are really good about getting someone to answer those questions, whether it's on camera, whether it's by Zoom, whether it's by phone.
Availability like that gives us the chance to get a better understanding of what happened and to challenge any inconsistencies.
What do you make of the police chief's statement that he turned toward officers, said, "You're going to have to kill me"?
The department also released body camera video from officers on scene.
But video clips released by East Cleveland Police this week show the officer who fired those deadly shots activated his camera while chasing 19-year-old Vincent Belmonte, then turned it off after only 2 seconds.
The missing video footage led to outrage.
We demand justice for the blood, for the life that was taken.
And calls for change in the department.
We want the truth on what happened in this situation.
The access to this video, the scene, and police officers may not get the answers the family wants and deserves, but it can slow misinformation from spreading.
When people don't get answers to the questions they have, a lot of times they'll either start filling in those blanks themselves, or they'll start filling it in with what other community members tell them. But if police aren't putting their side out, that other side is getting out there, and that takes root, that starts to spread, and that raises even more questions in a lot of people's minds.
Neither Cleveland police officer Jose Garcia or East Cleveland Police Sergeant Larry McDonald have been charged.
We're trying to get those answers. We're trying to ask those tough questions.
Caroline Sweeney, News 5.
You have the right to know if government agencies are fulfilling their duties to provide public information, and that is why News 5 is launching the Transparency Tracker. It's a special online tool to hold public officials accountable. You can look for that on news5cleveland.com.